Happy Thursday, everybody. A question of the day today directed to Mr. Barack Obama.
Why are you gay?
You are gay. And we're going to talk about that. Plus, we have a principal of an Oklahoma elementary school who moonlights as a drag queen and was previously arrested on a child porn charge. So I'll ask the question, how did this person get hired to work in front of children? All that and more today coming up on Candace Owens. You know, a lot of people are really shocked to see the extent that the Department of Justice and the media went through to cover up for Hunter Biden and his laptop, and especially because there was just such an abundance of evidence throughout the 2020 election that obviously this was real. I mean, we had photos circulating of him smoking crack, and people went, oh, this is Russian propaganda. I mean, how deluded you have to be looking at an actual photo and to believe that it must somehow be Russian propaganda. What would be the Russian interest in creating propaganda about Hunter Biden? And of course, now, because time has gone by, because the media got what it wanted, which was an installation of Joe Biden as the president, they're kind of going, oh, no, there might be something here. And people are realizing, wow, the Department of Justice is implicit. We have former members of the CIA and the intelligence community, which are complicit. We're complicit in issuing that letter saying, oh, absolutely not. This is for sure a Russian propagandist effort, even though they knew that the contents of the laptop were true. We're seeing that there are judges that are implicated. And people are asking a question, just how corrupt is the system? We talk about the deep state, right? People think that's just a trendy phrase, that you have to be a conspiracy theorist to believe in it. This is what we are referring to. We are referring to people that have so much power that they can make stories that should be everywhere disappear virtually overnight. We'll just get you to stop talking about something that we should be talking about for months and have you focusing on something else. And that is what we saw with the Hunter Biden laptop story. So it amazed me, actually, when unrelatedly, but also relatedly, Tucker Carlson was just speaking in front of a camera and talking about the claims, the allegations that Barack Obama was gay, something that I've known for years. And people were very surprised to hear about it because, of course, there was a media concerted effort to suppress those stories when Barack Obama was running for president of the United States. Let's listen to what Tucker Carlson had to say about that.
2008, it became really clear that Barack Obama had been having sex with men and smoking crack. And a guy came forward, Larry Sinclair, and said, I'll sign an affidavit. And he did. I'll take a lie detector. And he did. I smoked crack with Barack Obama and had sex with him. Well, that was obviously true. Nobody reported it, not because they were squeamish about sex or drugs, but because the Obama campaign said anyone who reports on this gets no access to the Obama campaign. And so they didn't report on it. So that happens. That's just one small example, but that happens all the time with lots of different issues.
That's a pretty big one. The idea that the president of the United States was involved in having illicit affairs and the media was covering it up. And I'll take it a step further. I'll tell you what I heard. I heard this directly from the mouth of a Secret Service agent whose name I cannot remember, but who worked for Barack Obama and his family. And he said that while Barack Obama was in office, again, this is coming from a Secret Service agent, that they would help sneak young men into the White House. It was not a secret of sorts that Barack Obama was sleeping with these young men, and that was just a part of their job. Unbelievably, the press never found out about this, which happens sometimes. Sometimes you can actually drop off crack cocaine at the White House, and they don't know who did it. So yeah, the government can be super hush-hush when they want to be. And of course, the media will help them bury those facts. But let's go backward, because apparently this clip of Tucker Carlson is going viral because people had never heard it. They'd never even heard about Larry Sinclair. They never heard about his testimony. And if they did hear about it, it was dismissed. They problematized Larry Sinclair himself. And I want to be clear that Larry Sinclair has some problems. Yes, he has problems, a lot of financial ones. He's been accused and convicted of fraud, credit card fraud, things of that nature. But he was pretty clear when he repeatedly said over and over again that he had engaged in a homosexual affair with Barack Obama. He was pretty clear when he said that he had had sex with then Senator Barack Obama in Chicago. And he was willing to even host a news conference about it at the National Press Club in Washington on June 18th, 2008. So don't take my word for it. Actually watch this video, which has largely been buried, and let me know what you think about it. Take a listen.
In regards to the Obama incident, I flew out of Colorado Springs, Colorado to Chicago on November 2nd, 1999, arriving in O'Hare early in the morning of November 3rd. I went to the Chicago area to attend the graduation of my godson, my best friend's son, from basic training from the Great Lakes Navy Training Facility. I made reservations at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Gurnee, Illinois, based solely on the location to the training center. On November 5th, 1999, I hired the services of Five Star Limousine. Excuse me. I had hired them both for November 5th and November 6th of 1999. On November 6, 1999, I asked the limo driver, whose name I now reveal for the first time, Jagir Paramit Mutani, if he knew anyone who would like to socialize and show me Chicago. Mr. Mutani understood that I was looking for someone who knew Chicago and would enjoy socializing. Mr. Mutani said he knew someone who was a friend of his. On November 6, 1999, after picking me up at the hotel in Gurnee, and this is significant, Mr. Mutani used his cell phone to make a call. That call was made to then Illinois State Senator Barack Obama to set up an introduction between myself and Senator Obama. Upon arriving at the bar and exiting the limo, Senator Obama was standing next to Mr. Mutani, and I was introduced to Senator Obama by name. Later that evening in a bar which I believe was called Alibis, and I state believe because I have failed so far to get Citigroup to provide the credit card receipts that has the actual name. I mentioned I could use a line or two to wake up. Senator Obama asked me if I was referring to coke, and I stated I was. After stating I was, Obama stated he could purchase cocaine for me and then made a telephone call. This too is significant, from a cell phone to a presently unknown individual, during which Senator Obama arranged the cocaine purchase. Senator Obama and I then departed the bar in my limousine and proceeded to an unknown location where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois. The following day, November 7th, 1999, Senator Obama appeared at my hotel room, unannounced, uninvited, where we again ingested cocaine and I again performed fellatio on Senator Obama.
Do you believe him? That seems remarkably detailed. It seems that if you were a meaningful journalist and you were in front of him at that news conference, you could have easily fact-checked those things. You could have asked for those credit card receipts. You could have gone to then Senator Barack Obama and asked him to counter those claims. Hey, actually, Barack Obama, where were you on that night that this man claims that he was performing fellatio on you? I'll tell you, I believe him. I believe him because, as I said in follow-up stories, speaking to a Secret Service agent, they could all but confirm that Barack Obama was gay and that it wasn't really much of a secret when he was in the White House. And of course, now what's also happened is an ex-girlfriend of his has come forward with a letter written from Barack Obama detailing his gay fantasies that he had with men, saying that he would choose to be publicly heterosexual, but behind the scenes, obviously, that he fantasized about men. So this isn't a secret. It's never been a secret, but it was yet kept from the general public. Why? That's the interesting question, because I'll be clear. It doesn't really impact my life if Barack Obama is a flaming homo. It probably doesn't really impact yours. But as a country, we should ask the question, why did the media cover this up? Were they afraid that we weren't going to vote for a gay man in 2008? Is that the reason they did it? No, I would take it a step further and suggest this. Media knows, of course, what Barack Obama is. The media is being controlled by the CIA. I have said this to my followers routinely on this podcast, that if you question that narrative, you need to look up Operation Mockingbird. The CIA has placed agents all across the media to control the way that we think, and that's been going on for decades. That's been going on since JFK was assassinated. That was when they put in place that Operation Mockingbird program. Why? I don't know. I don't know why they felt that they needed journalists to repeat what they wanted them to say following JFK's death, which, by the way, they clarified for us this year or last year. That was also Russian. It's all about Russia, Russia, Russia. It couldn't possibly be our CIA involved in these sorts of murky situations. But the bigger reason why they like these complicated characters like Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, and that they fully know their dirt, that they know that Barack Obama probably likes crack, that they know that he likes young men, is because that allows them to control these people. So you find somebody who presents well enough, right? You get them into positions of power and you install what is known as a puppet presidency. Barack Obama's not going to not do exactly what they say at all times, because look what they have on Barack Obama. Look what they know about Barack Obama. These things aren't conspiracies. It's common sense, obviously. And that is all I'm going to say about that. According to a recent study of hundreds of women who have had an abortion, 60% reported that they would have preferred to give birth if they had received more support from others or had more financial security. And that's where preborn steps in. Preborn is there for women in their darkest hour, deciding between the life and death of their precious child. The reality is that women are being pressured to make this fatal decision and are being told that their babies are just a clump of cells. Preborn welcomes women with love and introduces them to the beautiful life that grows inside of them, which doubles their baby's chance at life. So when you support Preborn, you not only support women, you empower them. Your donation of just $28 will help a woman receive a free ultrasound. Your love can save a life. Don't take my word for it. Check out this amazing testimonial.
So I was just getting on my feet and I met someone and I got pregnant and I wasn't ready. How am I going to raise a baby? And I barely can take care of my daughter and myself right now. I Googled abortions and I scheduled an appointment thinking it was an abortion clinic. They did my first ultrasound. Seeing the ultrasound, it impacted me to the point to where I broke down crying. The nurse reminded me that it was a blessing from God. I was thinking about if I wanted to keep the baby or not. When I was at the clinic, after they told me how far along I was and that the baby had a heartbeat, I cried. And they gave me a minute by myself in the room. I broke down and I prayed to God. I asked the Lord to, when I walk out of those doors, to just give me the strength to be able to go through the pregnancy. Made my decision at that time. Women's Center called me out of the blue and said that they had a lot of stuff for me and they would like for me to come in. They gave me cribs and diapers and so much stuff. It's amazing. It touches my heart. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel like there's people in the world that does care. They gave me hope, the strength to believe in myself that I could do it. Treasure I chose because I know that she was a gift from God and she's just going to be a treasure. I'm super grateful that I'm able to go down this journey with my daughter, and I'm just super glad that I didn't have an abortion. I've learned how to trust God, how to listen to God, and to trust myself, and to do the right thing, and not be selfish. It feels amazing.
Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby. Or you can go to preborn.com/Candace. That's preborn.com/Candace. Okay, now it's time for some topics du jour. Before we get too deep into other topics, I do want to provide you a general update on that wonderful little patriot that we covered yesterday. His name was Jaden. He was 12 years old, and he was plausibly the cutest little 12-year-old I've ever seen, who just went to school with the Gadsden flag on his backpack and sent one of his definitely left-leaning teachers into a tizzy, spiraling. "Oh my gosh, this is slavery," she said. Our school policy is that this is somehow slavery," said the super foolish administrator when he was sat down with his parents. And obviously his mother, who again is an absolute hero, stood up for her child and said, "You just do not have the facts and you're not going to smear my child as supporting slavery with something on his backpack." I mean, it's pointedly ridiculous. He's 12. Let 12-year-olds be 12-year-olds. We told you it was a major win because both the left and the right came out swinging to defend him, including, I have to give credit where credit is due, the governor of Colorado, Polis, who said, no, absolutely, this is about the Revolutionary War and it is a symbol of freedom, and we are totally fine with don't tread on me in this great state, and maybe it is time for a history lesson. Well, I would imagine that if you were a teacher at this school in Colorado and you were following the story, it's largely very embarrassing that you really quite literally got schooled by one of your 12-year-old students. I would imagine you might feel embarrassed, but what I couldn't imagine is that you would then let that embarrassment lead to you somehow bullying that adorable little 12-year-old. Well, he provided us with a little update, and it's largely positive, but he does mention that teachers aren't being too nice to him right now. Take a listen.
Hey guys, today was a good day, kind of. When I got to school, the kids were really hyped up because they saw me on Twitter, and kids are putting "Don't tread on me" on their locker. Well, at least my new made friends, because I'm big on Twitter, and now they like me all of a sudden. But the teachers, on the other hand, I got some dirty looks, that's for sure. They're definitely not happy with me. But other than that, it was pretty good. I was on the Charlie Kirk show, and Ben Shapiro had me. It was a really good day, in my opinion. Well, have a good day, y'all.
He's so adorable, I can't take it. But I mean, just thinking, he's like, I'm suddenly popular. People like me at school. People are putting "Don't tread on me" things, and the students are being amazing and being supportive. And yet he has teachers that are giving him dirty looks. How pathetic, really asking the question, how absolutely pathetic and useless and pitiful do you have to be as an adult teacher, whether you're male or female, as an adult human being, to give dirty looks to a 12-year-old because he was right? Because he actually knew what he was talking about, and because he had parents who basically said, you're not going to administrate this. You're not going to pretend that something was done wrong here. You're not going to pretend there's some imaginary policy where you can wave a magic wand and say, racism. And so you're taking it out that you're stupid. That's the problem. Is teachers are stupid, and you're taking it out on the kid who was smarter than you. Absolutely pathetic. But you know what? I'm going to focus on the positives of the story. Again, it's just a brief update. And the positive is that this kid is popular. He's getting support. There are "Don't tread on me" flags. I hope there are "Don't tread on me" stickers everywhere. And I hope that there are "Don't tread on me" bumper stickers everywhere, because they got the attention that they deserved. And he did absolutely the right thing. And obviously, this story is not going away. He's still going viral. So kudos to you, Jaden. You made our week. All right, you guys, now moving on, jumping into this next story, and kind of relatedly, because it's about a principal of an Oklahoma elementary school, and we've obviously been talking about how necessary it is for parents to develop the spine to stand up for their students. And I just want to make it clear, I know I have in previous episodes, but I feel I need to make it abundantly clear over and over again that if I ever go to prison, it will be for my children. I can see it. Something happens to my child. There's some sort of a threat. And I will smile in the mugshot. I will be proud. I know that you guys will greet me outside when I get bail, and it will cheer, and it'll be amazing. And you'll say that's exactly what I expected her to do, because this story, it really lights a fire inside of me. A principal of an Oklahoma elementary school that is moonlighting as a drag queen was previously arrested on child porn charges. Yes, this is real, and I'm going to tell you about that principal. His name is Dr. Shane Mernon. He is 52 years old, and he is the principal of John Glenn Elementary School in southwestern Oklahoma City. So, first, right away, from an LGBTQ activist, there's nothing wrong if he also wants to dress up like a drag queen and be in front of kids and read story times. That's just, I don't know, love is love. I get it. I hear you. I just don't listen to you. I don't listen to you because I have common sense and gut instincts as a parent. And something tells me that if a grown man wants to wear panties and be in front of a child, I should be on alert. And in this circumstance, I would have been right to be alerted, because while Mandalay is a well-known local drag queen in circles, and also as a part of his drag queen act, likes to mention that he, during the daytime, is around children, he also has a very troubling personal life that I'm going to tell you about. So he began his career in education in 2001 when he was just 30 years old, and he was teaching 5th grade at Will Rogers Elementary School in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Again, elementary school seems to be where he likes to work. During that time, he was arrested in 2001 and charged with possessing child pornography and drugs. Now, you might wonder, how could someone that has been arrested and charged with child pornography ever then go on to become the principal of a school, again in elementary school, and be allowed in front of children? Well, I'm going to tell you how. They seized his digital devices at that time. They were able to glean at least 4 images of pornographic material. However, a judge later determined that the prosecutors had not proven that the victims in the images were in fact underage. So this is how the internet works. So even if you have a picture of a child and they're able to say this is an underage child, the prosecution has to prove this is the actual child that is in the photo, and I am showing you documentation that this person is 11 years old. Well, they were unable to prove that, right? The judge said, I don't think that you have adequately proven this. Another judge disagreed and said, no, absolutely, this is child pornography. It's obvious, okay? But then another court sided with the first judge, and Dr. Murnin got lucky. They dismissed the child porn charges on essentially a technicality. You can't actually tell me who is in this image and how old this individual is. So in the end, all Dr. Murnin received for having had these pornographic childlike images, which obviously caused this disruption, this disagreement between the judges, was a probation sentence for the drugs, a marijuana charge. And then he later had his record expunged in 2003. Now, with his newly clean record, he emerged as a drag queen persona in 2004 and 2006. He then spent the next several years cultivating his drag queen career before he began teaching in Oklahoma again, moving to work as an assistant principal in Prairie Queen Elementary School in Oklahoma City. For whatever reason, this year, the school board decided to have a private meeting to consider several administrative candidates, including Dr. Murnin, to be nominated to fill the principal vacancy at John Glenn Elementary School. So most of those school board meetings are public. This one was private, and they decided to have an executive session behind closed doors. And for 40 minutes, they then emerged, the school board, and decided that Dr. Murnin was their candidate, and he became the principal of an elementary school. Somebody who had images of what at least looked like to prosecutors and a judge like child porn images, but they were unable to prove in the technicality that it was, got his record expunged, is now a principal at a school in Oklahoma. Where are the parents in that school? If you are following this story and you are a parent anywhere near this district, in fact, if you are a politician, if you are a person living in Oklahoma, if you're a person living in the United States, it is your job to talk about this. It is your job to get out and to make sure that this person gets away from children, because this is absolutely disgusting. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening at these school boards. I think we all have a feeling that we understood this when there just seemed to be this strange and bizarre focus and platforming of pronouns, of trying to get in LGBTQ teachers, of trying to have the teachers on TikTok say that these are our children, of trying to get children to talk about their sexuality. We began saying, what's going on here? This feels like a soft entry into pedophilia. And we have been gaslit. We have been gaslit by entire companies and corporations who say, you can't even say that because it's homophobic. It's heteronormative. It's whatever you're saying is wrong. And then we have a case like this that is so concrete that there is something nefarious going on. And now what? Now the task is on us parents to be outraged because this is outrageous. All right, guys, moving on to another topic that I care deeply about, which is men having really just the same treatment as women do when it comes to the legal system, when it comes to justice. When women were just allowed to make allegations and ruin a man's life, if those allegations are proven wrong, I believe women should serve time in prison. I really do. And so I was very ecstatic to read this story, quite a plot twist, regarding Nick Carter. Nick Carter, formerly of the Backstreet Boys, has just won a major legal battle against an accuser. A judge is allowing him to countersue her, which should always be the circumstance if you prove the allegations are not true. So I will back this up. A young woman named Melissa Schumann, she was in the band that was called Dream. I vaguely remember having that when I was a child, dancing to Dream music, made allegations that Nick Carter raped her. Those are obviously very serious allegations for somebody to say that they were raped. And I'm glad, by the way, that she was able to explore those allegations, because if you are raped, you should obviously be allowed to go after the person that raped you. And in this circumstance, she said that the Backstreet Boy, Nick Carter, did this. Well, it turns out that after investigating her claims, they were somehow able to confirm that she was not telling the truth. Now, I don't know how that was. I don't know how they were able to determine that her claims were false. It could be something as easy as a text chain. These are the things that typically work. When you say it shows that you were in a loving relationship, it shows that you were going back and forth, that you were, typically you're not going to hang out with your rapist for 3 years thereafter. Whatever the determination was, they determined that she was actually lying in the circumstance. And so what Nick Carter did then, after that was determined, is that he filed to be able to countersue her, obviously, for the stress and the agony and the pain that this has caused in his life, having to deal with that smear of being called a rapist. Well, she tried to block that. He's suing her for defamation, just to be clear. And she tried to block that. She and her father filed a motion to block his legal action. And yesterday, the judge came back and sided with Carter, denying her attempt to get the countersuit dismissed. They decided that Carter presented sufficient evidence to warrant his defamation case moving forward. So this is wonderful. For everybody that's marching in the streets demanding equal rights, for everyone who's saying, I'm a feminist and I just want equal rights for men and women. Well, here it is. This is what it looks like. It means that you don't just hashtag believe women, but you believe facts, you explore the facts, and you give men that same opportunity to explain the facts. So she has nothing to fear if she's telling the truth, by the way. That is how it works legally. Truth is a defense, an automatic defense against defamation. And she seems worried because maybe she wasn't telling the truth. But I'm just happy that this case is happening. There needs to be more countersuits available for men who have to suffer the consequences of dealing with wrongly being called a rapist. We're living in an era of tyranny, and the internet is at the frontier of a battle for control. When powerful interests want to push their agenda, they get big government and big tech to silence any voice that does not fit their narrative. Americans are being forced to give up the very thing that makes America great, our freedom of speech. I'm not going to let my voice be censored, which is why I use ExpressVPN, and you should too. The problem with big tech is not only do they attempt to censor you, but they also track what you do online. What you're searching for, the videos you watch, and everything that you click. They can match your activity to your true identity and use your device's unique IP address. When I use ExpressVPN, they can't see my IP address at all. My identity becomes anonymized by a secure VPN server. Plus, ExpressVPN encrypts 100% of my network traffic for protection from hackers and eavesdroppers. ExpressVPN is so easy to use. I love that no matter what device I'm on, the app literally has just one button. You tap it and you're protected. It really is that simple. So stop letting big tech and big government control your information. Defend your right to protect yourself at expressvpn.com/Candace. That's expressvpn.com/Candace to get 3 months free. Visit expressvpn.com/Candace to learn more. All right, guys, now let's get into some of your comments from episodes past. The first set of comments, of course, about our adorable Jaden, who does seem to strangely look exactly like Michael Knowles, like a little Michael Knowles. He's so polished. He's so cute and adorable. The don't tread on me kid. The Brit Brat says, I used to live in Colorado Springs, and I guarantee you that kid's dad is in the military, was stationed there, and had a teacher make an anonymous call on us after we had just moved on post, just because they didn't like something I said. The place is swarming with Democrats who don't like outsiders. Well, I couldn't tell you, but I will say that in this circumstance, it seems that the conservatives won. And I actually don't want to politicize it because, as I said, this is a rare moment where the left and the right in Colorado came together and said this was ridiculous. So kudos to everyone who just acknowledged that this was a rotten egg in the school system. Elizabeth Stevenson says, one of the things I love about children is their ability to smell hypocrisy a mile off. You could tell he was tickled to know more about his subject than his teacher. Yeah, he was just so sweet. And the thing is, I probably watched his interview with Ben several times, and I just felt sad that this child even had to go through this because it's so unimaginable. When I was in middle school, we didn't have teachers that were, brainwashed by BLM, brainwashed by the 1619 Project, offended by the American flag. Kids are just able to grow up. I mean, it takes a a special kind of derangement to even suspect a 12-year-old, someone that small and that adorable, of wanting to promote slavery. I mean, how deranged are you? Wouldn't you go, maybe I'm wrong about this. That's crazy. Obviously, no parent is going to just allow their child to come in with a backpack that's like, yeah, I'm pro-slavery, but they don't think like that. They're so disturbed that they actually believe that people this young and this innocent are capable of that sort of hatred. And I think that that's kind of the saddest part. Cassie writes, he so sweetly said, they tried to tread on my rights and found out. What a sweet way to say F around and find out. LOL, he is adorable and he is so smart and so calm and so confident because he knows he's right. He's in the right here. He's adorable and his parents are awesome. Raising a very intelligent child and teaching him to stand up for himself. Great parenting. Yes, not enough can be said about the parents. It's a very empowering lesson for all parents everywhere to realize that your kids will be more confident if they know that you are standing behind them. And I will 100% be standing behind my children. You know, when they are wrong, they will be wrong and they will get into trouble. But when they are right, they will be right. And I will make sure that the administration gets into trouble. All right, we talked about the strange fast food cases. I suggested that maybe I should put in my resignation and just start being offended by the advertisements and collecting $1 million checks. I think I want to become a fast food ambulance chaser. Angela Laura writes, it's incredible how someone can sue Burger King and have a case and most likely win. In New York City, I couldn't even get one lawyer or even the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division to help me when my career was taken over by the jab, even though I was granted a religious exemption. So sad it hurts. My life and mental health were severely affected. I pray that one day people like me will get justice for such a crime. Thanks for all that you do, Candace. It is ridiculous to see what cases are allowed to go through and what cases are not allowed to go through. And I've had similar frustrations myself, whether there's been personal things that I wanted to move forward with and my lawyer was like, this will never go forward. And then you see something as ridiculous as like this Mexican pizza doesn't look quite like the ad, and these people become millionaires, you know, or at least get a couple of $100,000, which is a lot of money. And so I'm totally agreeing with you. It seems backwards, but especially in a place like New York City, where you know that everything is backwards. You know, they reward the criminals, they reward the frauds, they reward the crooks, and people that just want to go to work are made to suffer. Last comment is regarding the trans inmates. I introduced a fact to you that approximately 50% of the trans inmates are actually sex offenders. How could that be? Alex writes, caught sex offenders are claiming to be trans to get into women's prisons just because they're scared to go into the general population in a male prison and get their teeth kicked in or worse for being a sex offender, especially the pedophiles. This whole trans thing is hurting everything, even the real LGBTQ community. I totally agree. I absolutely agree with you. And that's probably a wonderful place to end today's episode. You guys, we're at 1.97 million subscribers. Where are my last 300K? Are you them? Are you the person watching? Are you one of them? Be a part of the few and the proud, the last 300K while we hit 2 million. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that we have for today. As a reminder, my new 10-part series, Convicting a Murderer, will be premiering on X, formerly known as Twitter, on September 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be free. That first episode will be free for everyone. The second episode is going to also be free, but it'll be available on Daily Wire Plus. So if you're a true crime junkie, and who isn't, you're going to love this series. We'll see you guys tomorrow as we wrap the week with a brand new episode.